Greetings, I am Herbert Erpaderp, and today we are going to have a look at what's in this box. This is something a little bit different to what I would normally do. It's a fruit delivery van. In particular, it's the TYP 170V Lieferwagen, or Lieferwagen? I've no idea. What I do know is this is a 35th scale plastic kit from MiniArt, and I think it looks pretty interesting. Inside the box, we find a bunch of stuff, which is not at all unexpected. Most of this stuff is plastic sprues. The kit is comprised of several very neat looking sprues moulded in a light grey plastic. I haven't built many MiniArt kits, the most recent being a tractor, and this one looks to have slightly fewer fiddly rods and bars and easily broken doodads, which isn't to say it has none. You can see here that there's at least a few. Like with the tractor, these parts are nice, neat and crisp. The moulding is rather good, and there's not a lot in the way of mould lines. They are, of course, present, and will need a small amount of cleanup, but nothing too time consuming. Though I do, preemptively, suggest being careful with those thin bits when cleaning them up and removing them from the sprues, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't take too much imagination to figure out why I might say that. This sprue looks like it's got some engine details, which is always a nice touch. I've not really looked into it, but I would hope that if there's an engine, there's also a way to model it so that the engine is visible. It does look like there's enough parts here to build a fairly complete engine, so it would be kind of a shame to put all of that work into it for it to never be seen. This sprue has another carb body, I guess you might call it, like the first sprue had. I'm not sure what the deal is, but I assume that means this kit has common sprues with another vehicle. The majority of the parts here seem to be for the van body stuff.
Great use of technical terms there, Herbert!
Thanks. I would be repeating myself if I said all of the parts here looked nice, neat and crisp, with a low level of mould lines, but at least I wouldn't be lying. These sprues here have various doodads.
No shit, Sherlock!
Some of these look rather fiddly, but if you do remember the MiniArt tractor I did a while ago, you'll see some somewhat familiar wheels. I guess this is a thing that MiniArt does, and I don't think I've seen this kind of thing in any other kits. It does mean that the wheels will take ever so slightly more effort than some other wheels you'll see in kits, but I feel like it's really worth the effort. These should end up looking pretty nice. It would be a little bit odd if a model of a fruit van didn't include any fruit. Fortunately, there is plenty here. Lots of bananas and some nice melons. These look like they might end up being a little bit fiddly, but it is nice to see some individual pieces of fruit as well as big chunks of fruit to load the boxes with. And speaking of boxes, there's a couple of sprues with boxes. Makes sense, we can't just have loose fruit everywhere. That would be a gosh darn inconvenience. Clear plastic for the window glazings is also included. It looks good, and it's nice and clear, at least until I handle it and put fingerprints all over it. And that's all the plastic in this box. There is still a bit more stuff though, like decals. There are markings here for 3 variants of the vehicle, and they do look to be good quality. I've never used MiniArt decals, so I can't tell you what they're like, but they do look nice, and they're very neatly printed. We also get some photo etch.
Oh boy, your favourite!
Definitely. This includes a nice looking grille, presumably for the front of the van. There's probably going to be some bending required, but this does look to be a bit more simple than what was included with the tractor. Obviously, photo etch isn't really my favourite thing, so if you want to laugh at somebody struggling with little bits of brass, be sure to tune into the build streams. And finally, we have general instruction. I don't know if we're meant to salute or what.
Oh, you're so funny, Herbert!
There's some painting and marking guides in the front of the instructions here, followed by sprue guides, which are of course helpful if you think something might be missing, and the instructions themselves. There's a lot of stuff here, but it seems like the instructions are laid out in a pretty sensible fashion that should be easy enough to understand and follow. Haven't had an in-depth look at these, or built the kit yet, so if there is a problem with the instructions, we'll find out while I'm building, which is always fun, and I will of course mention any issues in the build video when that comes out. What I can see is that it seems as though you can build the model with the engine compartment open or closed, and I do appreciate that kind of option. I've no idea what I'll do yet, but I probably will build the entire engine, if only to show how it goes together. There's also fruit crate assembly instructions. You might think,
How difficult could that be?
but you never know. It could be really tricky and these instructions might be really helpful. The last couple of pages here have a color chart and another paint scheme. It seems a bit odd to split them up, but I assume this is just a way to print fewer pages in full color. Saves a little bit of money, I suppose. I've no idea how I'm going to paint this thing yet, but I rather like the idea of painting a vehicle that's been kept in good clean condition, instead of a war vehicle that's covered in chips and damage and dirt and stuff. I guess that's actually kind of a challenge if you never really do that. It seems like it'll be fun anyway. The last page has some related items, and that's it. That's what's in the box. It looks like quite a nice kit to me, and I'm pretty excited to get started on it. I will of course be streaming the build, and I'll be starting on it pretty soon. This is going to be on my evening streams, for however long it takes. Those are usually Wednesday nights, starting at around 8:30 to 9 PM, and obviously that's Australian Eastern Standard Time. You can check the schedule on my Twitch channel, the link for which is in the description. There will also be notifications on my Discord server, so if you're interested in watching how this goes together live, with all of the struggles and creative language that can entail, go ahead and follow my Twitch channel. If for whatever reason live streams aren't your thing, there will eventually be a build video here on YouTube, and obviously that'll happen sometime after the streams, owing to the linear nature of time. Either way, I'm excited to build this, and I think it's going to result in a very nice little model. I think it might also find its way into my painting queue fairly quickly, because it's just so different to the usual stuff I do, though it will still take a while to get done. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section below. And if you've not already done so, why not subscribe here on YouTube for the low price of absolutely nothing? Or if you have the means, and you want to help a Herbert Erpaderp do Herbert Erpaderp things, and see my videos a bit early, consider becoming a patron. You can find links to Patreon, and all of my other things like Discord and social media in the description below. And as always, I shall return soon. So until then, be excellent to each other, have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Farewell.